Hello, I'm Stacy. Welcome to Stacy's Bookcase, where I like to talk about books. And today I'm going to give a couple random book recommendations. I really like discovering books that I wouldn't normally look for, and part of the time that's either from people recommending books or I find them as I'm looking through some discount books and stuff like that. So I'd like to do that here because some of the books that I've really enjoyed in the past have been books that I know I wouldn't have picked up if I hadn't heard about them from someone else or had them stumble across my path. I'll be recommending 3 today. And the first one is From Here to Eternity by Caitlin Doughty. She is a mortician, and this book is about various places that she's traveled to learn about their traditions regarding dealing with the dead, dealing with their loved ones that have passed. And it's really interesting to see the different traditions from different countries, different areas of the world, and what they do and what they value. She has a couple other books, and I do plan on picking those up at some point. She also has a Instagram, and right now there are some classes you can take about dealing with death, and that's such a difficult subject for people, and I feel like she handles it so well. I would definitely recommend checking her out and checking out her works as well as the other resources she has. The next book I'd like to recommend is The Moonstone by Wilkie. This book I picked up on a whim at a used bookstore. I just really wanted to get something and I didn't know what else to get. They didn't have a very big science fiction and fantasy section, and the mystery section happened to be right next to it. And I saw this little engraving on the front and also the various illustrations on the inside, and I had to get it because I thought they looked really good. And I'm really glad I got it because it's so funny. So The Moonstone is a mystery. It's about this group of characters that have come together for a dinner, and at this dinner someone dies, and a large stone, a moonstone, the gemstone, that is the title of this book, goes missing, and a detective is hired to figure out the mystery of who murdered this man, if he was murdered, and who stole the moonstone. And the story is told from a couple different perspectives in chunks. So like the first section is from the steward perspective, the butler, the housekeeper person, Mr. Betteridge. He's like one of my favorite characters in literature, I think. He's such a great character. And then there are like 3 other perspectives that it moves to, and the unraveling of it is interesting. It's an older detective novel. I read somewhere that it was like one of the first detective novels. I think there's debate about what was the first real detective novel, but this was, I guess, in the running. I would check it out. It's a great, I guess, look at various characters, and it's an interesting mystery. Now, the last book that I would like to recommend is Dictionary of the Khazars, a lexicon novel by Milorad Pavic. So this is a fantasy, I guess, and it's a really interesting book because it's not set up in a linear story. It's set up like a dictionary, sort of like an encyclopedia. There are entries throughout, and it's divided up into 3 parts, 3 books. There's the red book, the green book, and the yellow book. And there are entries for like different events, different people in each book, but they're from different perspectives, sort of, depending on the book you're reading. You don't have to read it from beginning to end. I think I jumped around a bit in the beginning, and then I just went from beginning to end from what I hadn't read. But you can, like I said, you can jump around as well. You don't have to start from the beginning, go to the end if you want to. You can pick an entry and read the different, the similar entries in each portion of the book, and they link to other entries and you can go from there. So you can sort of just kind of create your own pathway through this book. If you don't like something that has a very defined plot, you probably won't like this. This is more of like a experiment with storytelling, and if you're interested in strange formats and how the way you tell a story can affect the story and the way you take it in and all that, I would definitely recommend checking this book out. It's definitely different than anything I have come across before, and I really enjoyed it. There were some parts that were kind of confusing, but it's something that when I finished I did really want to pick up again in the future. I don't know when I'll do that because it is kind of a commitment, because there's a lot to piece out, so it's not a quick read, but it is something that I would like to read in the future. Also, another interesting point is there are two different editions, I guess, of this book. There is the male edition and the female edition, and the difference is one line in the book. There's one line, or maybe it's like a paragraph. I can't remember if it's just one line or if it's one paragraph. There's one tiny section that is different. It's the only difference between the two, between the male edition and the female. I'm pretty sure what I have is the female edition, and that's just another little tidbit that's just adds another layer of mystery to it. I mean, why is that one line different? I'm not even sure if I really have figured that out yet, but it's definitely something that if you read it, it would be nice to read with a bunch of people, because I feel like it would prompt a lot of really good discussion. So yes, I recommend this book, Dictionary of the Khazars by Milorad Pavic, The Moonstone by Wilkie Collins, and From Here to Eternity by Doughty. If any of these sound interesting to you, please let me know in the comments down below. Would love to find out if any of these sparked your interest. If you know of any other books that have like strange formats like this, please let me know. I'm always interested in finding more like that. I love experimenting with different kinds of reading formats. Well, thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.